Hey guys, what's up? This is Grant, and this is my opinion on the 2018 Subaru Crosstrek. As you can see, I'm sitting in a 2018 Subaru Crosstrek. This is my car. I got the orange color, I got the manual transmission in the premium model. Basically no options other than the fact that I got the premium model and maybe like all-weather floor mats or whatever. I don't know. I did get the car relatively cheap. I believe they were asking approximately $24,500. I got the car for $21,900. So they're fairly negotiable on these, which I was kind of surprised. I don't know. So there you have that part of it. So I ordered the car, like I said, manual transmission. This is the second one of these I've had. I had the CVT transmission in the probably a 2014-15 model, somewhere in there. I hated it. It was super unresponsive. I sold it with probably 3,000 miles on the car because I actually loved the car, but it drove so poorly, so uninvolved that I had to get rid of it. I've got a lot of cars. I've got some fast cars like I got a C6 Z06. I got a 2017 Miata that's built, and a Morris Mini. So got some pretty cool cars, but so I picked up this 2017 or 18, sorry, Subaru. I like it. There you go. I like it. It's a great car. A couple if you need more detail, then I like it. Let's go into it a little bit further. So I ordered orange. In the pictures online, it looks like the orange is a lot brighter and deeper, maybe better executed paint. It's not. It's the same old orange, at least that I can tell. I've seen the older model orange ones out on the road, and I've got my new one, and they look the same. I'm sure if they were sitting side by side, there could be some variation, but it's very minimal. All right, interior, awesome. Absolutely love the interior. I can't believe that it looks as good as it does for the price of the car. I put it up there with the Ford Focus, which I think is a pretty decent interior for a budget-minded car. Couple things that are odd about this car. One is the AC, if you can call it that. It cools the cab, but it's about the equivalent of having like 5 cups of ice in the car. You know, it's cooler inside than it is outside, but you're still gonna sweat. So I don't love that aspect of it, but I typically drive with the windows down, so it's not a huge deal to me. And so when you buy the car, you know, this supposedly has approximately 4 more horsepower than the old model because it's direct injection, same torque. I got the manual and I was pretty pumped. I was like, oh man, this thing is going to be awesome. Well, it gets delivered, take it off the truck, and it has no power. And I mean, 1993 Geo Metro will outrun it, no power. I was blown away. I was like, how is this a modern car that has this little of power? And I mean literally like 3rd gear on the interstate trying to pass somebody at 70 miles an hour, and I could hardly get around them. Well, I was really disappointed. I actually called the dealership that I bought the car from and was like, man, we've got to work something out because I hate this thing. It has such little power. I find it dangerous. Well, while we were in negotiations with that, I hit 621 miles. At 621 miles, this car transformed. It became totally different. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's a rally race car. It's not a WRX, STI, not even a Forester. But what I am telling you is that the engine parameters definitely change at 1,000 kilometers. I don't have any proof of this other than myself, because I was driving the thing and all of a sudden I went to pass somebody and I was in 4th and I shot past them like you should in any car when you give it full throttle. It was amazing. Car's been driving great since then. I have taken this off-road, and I mean really off-road, as off-road as you could dream about pushing a stock Subaru. That's what I've done. I've taken it out on the Jeep trails. I've taken it up Eagle Mountain. Eagle Mountain's in Illinois. It's not a real mountain. It's not like this. It's more like a hill like this. And there's some big ruts and ravines. And The only limiting factor is ground clearance, which I've got a 2-inch lift and some bigger tires, two 25/65/17s going on it, and more of an all-terrain tire. But I'm blown away at the engine change, and I would like for people to know that, because if you test drive this new, you're going to be disappointed. There's no way you would not be disappointed. But seriously, at 621 miles, the car transformed. It was completely different. I love driving it now. A couple things that another thing that upsets you a little bit, it doesn't really matter to me that much, because I went from a vehicle that got 12 miles per gallon, which was a 2017 Tundra 4-wheel drive, to this in an effort to get something a little bit more friendly to drive around town. My Toyota was jacked up and things of that nature. So I was kind of looking forward to getting a little bit better fuel economy, and I do. I get about double. Right now, I'm at 22 miles per gallon with an average speed of 30 miles per hour. It's a mix of interstate and city driving. I've got about 1,100 miles on the car. They publish quite a bit better numbers than that. I do drive the vehicle hard, but like, I get the same gas mileage in my Z06. Granted, it's not 4-wheel drive, but it is 505 horsepower. It is a manual. I think it's a little bit alarming that a shitty little boxer motor with direct fuel injection, mine's a 08, my Corvette that is. This is an 18. We've got 10 years newer technology, and we still are basically getting the same fuel economy as a ultra high performance borderline supercar. That seems a little ridiculous to me. But hey, man, I don't really give a shit. It's got a good enough range. I don't have to stop for gas constantly, and I'll tell you this, off-road, this thing's a blast. Gravel roads, fire roads, you can really drive this car hard and really have fun with it. The only thing is, when I try to slide the car or drift the car, it doesn't really have enough power to save you. And a lot of like front-wheel drive cars and other all-wheel drive cars, as you start the drift and you're counter steering, if you don't have enough power to push the throttle and accelerate to control the slide, you have a tendency to spin, and that's what this wants to do. It kind of has a tendency to spin as I push the limits of what the car can do. Not saying that everybody's going to drive the car that way, but I drive the car that way, and that's what I care about. So if you're going to push the car, you're going to want a turbo. At the very least, get the manual. The X mode shit is marketing bullcrap. It's a way to sell more CVT transmissions because they cost more money. I don't think it does anything at all whatsoever. This vehicle, I've had both, one front tire, one rear tire off the ground simultaneously, and had excellent traction, no problem at all. Had to slip the clutch a little bit, and off I went. It's perfect. I've got a roof rack that carries 3 bikes, goes down the interstate. I can hold 90 all day long. With 3 bikes on the roof, I can still pass people, getting 22 miles per gallon and sweating a little bit. But overall, I love it. The interior finish is so much nicer. It makes it great. My son, who is 6'5", can easily fit in the back seat. His head is basically touching the ceiling, but he's got plenty of legroom. Storage in the back is fine. Fit and finish of the vehicle's flawless, except for the bumpers do not match the rest of the car. They're like 2 shades lighter colored, both front and rear. I don't know if that's common in the Subaru world, but I can tell you this, on the Crosstrek, the plastic body parts do not match the steel body parts. Come on, Subaru, figure this out. You're owned partially by Toyota, who's doesn't have these problems. You can't get your paint down. It's 2018. We've been painting cars for 100 years. Still having a hard time getting that color match. You're painting it at the same time too, so I don't really know what's going on there. But they definitely do not match. Again, I don't care. I'm going to beat the hell out of this thing. I already drug it down the side of a tree at 1,100 miles. And that kind of sucked. But hell, I mean, it's a Subaru. They, you know, their thing is like safe adventure. I don't really give a damn about the safety part of it. I just wanted a car that had 4-wheel drive that could get me out in the woods. That's what it does. It's a really good car. I highly recommend it. I'm going to drive the hell out of it. And whenever it's done, it probably won't be worth much. Hope you guys have a good day. That's my review on the Subaru. And peace out.